Elira and the Forgotten Library. Once upon a time, in a small, quiet village, surrounded by rolling hills and fields of golden wheat, lived a young girl named Elira. Elira had always been curious, with bright eyes that twinkled whenever she heard a new story. Unlike most children her age, Elira spent her time in the village library, a cozy little place filled with old books that smelled of adventure. She would lose herself in tales of magic, lost kingdoms and hidden treasures, dreaming of embarking on her very own adventure one day. One evening, as the sun began to set and cast a warm orange glow over the village, Elira was sitting in her favorite corner of the library when she noticed something peculiar. A gentle breeze blew through the room, even though the windows were closed, and she saw one of the books on a high shelf move slightly, as if it were being pushed. She climbed up on a chair, reaching for the book, which was bound in old, cracked leather and had no title on the spine. When she opened it, a small key fell out and landed in her lap with a soft clink. Elira picked up the key and examined it closely. It was small, made of brass, and had intricate engravings of vines and stars. Her heart skipped a beat as she realized that this was not an ordinary key. It must be a key to something special, something hidden. She turned the pages of the book, her eyes scanning the text, and found a map tucked between the pages. It showed a path leading from the village into the forest beyond, ending at a place labelled the Forgotten Library. Elira's heart pounded with excitement. Could this be the adventure she had always dreamed of? She didn't waste any time. As the sky turned dark and the first stars began to appear, she carefully tucked the key into her pocket, rolled up the map, and slipped out of the library, her feet carrying her quickly towards the edge of the village. If you found a mysterious key and an old map, would you follow it into the unknown? What kind of secrets do you think you might find? The path on the map led Elira through fields and into the dense forest that bordered the village. The forest was known for its towering trees and winding paths, but Elira felt no fear. The air was cool and the moon shone brightly above, casting a silvery glow on the forest floor. Fireflies danced in the air, lighting her way as she followed the winding path deeper and deeper into the woods. She held the map in one hand, her eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of the place marked on it. After what felt like hours of walking, she finally came upon a clearing. In the middle of the clearing stood a large oak tree, its trunk wide and twisted, with branches that reached out like welcoming arms. At the base of the tree was an old wooden door, partially hidden beneath ivy and moss. Elira took a deep breath, her fingers brushing against the key in her pocket. This was it, the Forgotten Library. With trembling hands, Elira pulled the key from her pocket and inserted it into the lock. The door creaked open, revealing a staircase that led down into darkness. She hesitated for a moment, her heart pounding in her chest. Then, taking a deep breath, she stepped inside, her feet slowly making their way down the spiral staircase. The air inside was cool and carried the scent of old books and damp earth. At the bottom of the stairs, Elira found herself in a grand underground room. Rows upon rows of bookshelves stretched as far as she could see, filled with books of every size and colour. In the centre of the room stood a pedestal, and upon it lay a large book, its cover glowing faintly with a soft golden light. Elira approached the pedestal, her eyes wide with wonder. She reached out and touched the cover of the book, and the room around her seemed to come alive. The books on the shelves began to glow, their pages fluttering open, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. Elira opened the glowing book, and the words on the pages seemed to dance before her eyes. "Welcome, seeker," the words read. "You have found the forgotten library, a place of knowledge and magic. Within these walls lie the secrets of the past, the stories of those who came before, and the power to shape the future. But only those with a pure heart may unlock its true potential." Elira felt a warmth spread through her, a sense of belonging that she had never felt before. She knew that she had found something truly special, something that had been waiting for her. She turned the page, and a new map appeared, showing different parts of the library, each section labelled with intriguing names like the Hall of Forgotten Spells and the Room of Timeless Tales. Would you be brave enough to explore a place filled with forgotten secrets? What kind of knowledge would you hope to find? Elira spent hours exploring the library, each section more magical than the last. She found books that taught her about ancient spells, maps of lost kingdoms, and even journals written by adventurers who had once visited the library long ago. She read stories of courage, friendship, and magic, stories that filled her heart with hope and wonder. As she read, she felt a connection to the past, to the people who had come before her, and to the magic that filled the world. As the night wore on, Elira came across a small door at the back of the library. It was different from the others, smaller, and made of polished wood with a silver handle. She opened the door and found herself in a cozy room with a fireplace crackling softly and a comfortable armchair sitting beside it. On a small table next to the chair was a teapot, steam rising from its spout, and a cup that seemed to be waiting just for her. Elira smiled, her heart swelling with warmth. She sat down in the armchair, pouring herself a cup of tea, and opened the book she had brought with her. The fire crackled softly, and the room felt safe and comforting, as if it had been made just for her. Imagine you found a hidden library filled with magic and secrets. What book would you pick first? What kind of story would you hope to find? As Elira sat by the fire, reading stories of old, she heard a soft knock at the door. She looked up, her heart pounding with both excitement and a little fear. Who could it be? She set her book down and stood, making her way to the door. When she opened it, she found a boy standing there, about her age, with messy brown hair and bright green eyes that sparkled with curiosity. "Hi," he said, smiling shyly. "My name is Finn. I saw the door open and... well, I followed it. Is this the Forgotten Library?" Elira nodded, her heart swelling with excitement. "Yes, it is. Would you like to come in?" Finn's eyes lit up, and he stepped inside, looking around in awe. "This is amazing," he whispered, his gaze taking in the rows of books and the cozy room. "I never knew a place like this existed." Elira smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her. For so long she had dreamed of an adventure, and now she had found it, and she had someone to share it with. Together they sat by the fire, taking turns reading from the glowing book, their voices filling the room with the magic of the stories. As the first light of dawn began to filter through the small window in the room, Elira knew that this was only the beginning. The Forgotten Library held countless secrets, and she and Finn were just getting started. There were so many books to read, so many stories to uncover, and so many adventures waiting to be had. Do you think you would be brave enough to explore the Forgotten Library with Elira and Finn? What kind of secrets would you hope to discover? And so, the story of Elira and the Forgotten Library continued. A tale of friendship, magic, and the power of stories to bring people together. A tale that would live on in the pages of the books, in the crackling of the fire, and in the hearts of those who dared to dream of adventure.